Chapter 12. The Plot Dickens. MJ advances the hands of time ever so slightly to a Christmas Eve, but a few short years later. Jacob Marley's live-in housekeeper and general gopher, Miss Frizzle, toughs out the cold to come to Scrooge's office. "Hey there, Bob," she says breathlessly, interrupting the clerk from his crossword puzzle. "I've got some bad news." The high-strung cat lady explains that Marley's probably going to die soon, after he fell and hit his head hanging a clock above his toilet. Scrooge better get there soon, she warns, or all the good stuff will be gone. "Dear, dear," says Bob, with a genuine empathy that soothes the frantic Frizzle. "Unfortunately, this is Scrooge's me time, and he's ordered Bob not to make a fucking peep. And also, he's spitting his coffee." Bob bravely decides to make an exception, though, and enters Scrooge's office. "Excuse me, sir," he squeaks. "The Frizz says Marley's gonna kick it." And oh, dear reader, Bob gets an earful. Scrooge launches into a tirade so foul, so crippling, that Bob feels he's been beaten with a shilling-filled stocking. He meekly backpedals out of the room and delivers Scrooge's answer, a firm F off. "Yeah, well, same to him," the Frizz declares, and disappears back into the cold night, before popping back in for the final word. "If he was my boss, I'd kill him in his sleep." "Preaching to the choir, sister," says Bob. He peers at the clock on the wall, counting the seconds until closing time. If you needed proof that Ebenezer is a creature of habit, dear reader, look no further than his shop closing routine. It's practically a shot-for-shot remake of 7 years later. Scrooge suspends his lamp oil costs for the day, making a mental note to dock it out of Bob's paycheck. Bob is ready and waiting with his boss's coat, and is waxing nostalgic on the good old days when Marley was alive and kicking, which is usually only a figure of speech. But if you had ever seen Jacob wailing on poor Cratchit, dear reader, you'd understand why Bob prefers Scrooge's gentler methods of psychological torment. Scrooge makes his usual disparaging remarks about Bob's smell and appearance, and then exits, leaving Bob to wonder if he really does smell, or if this was just an attempt of the man trying to, keep him down. Scrooge enters Marley's home and hangs his hat, effectively calling dibs on the place. He can see that he is being expected by Miss Frizzle and some haunted string bean he's never even met. "Who's this creepy fucker?" he says of the wispy man. Mrs. F introduces Mortimer Snurd, the undertaker. "Nice hustle getting over here," says Snurd, maintaining his title as London's sassiest mortician. "You want to go, you little shit," eggs Scrooge, writing checks his brittle bones can't cash. Scrooge makes his way through Marley's chambers, careful to avoid the elaborate tripwires and booby traps that Jacob sets in his fits of demented paranoia. Leaping lizards! Marley's eyes shoot open and about give Scrooge a long overdue heart attack. "Oh, so I guess you're not dead after all," says Scrooge. "Oh, that's nice." Scrooge has never, known Marley to be an expressive figure, but Jacob's eyes are wide with fear as he tries to mouth a response. Scrooge wonders what it could be that has his old friend in such a tizzy. Could it be the system-wide organ failure, or was there maybe something more he wasn't seeing? Jacob finally manages to squeeze out just a couple of words. "We were the bad guys," he whimpers. "We invented fake charities. We double-dipped during communion. We didn't even raise the sixth in green sleeves. I am not having this argument again, spit Scrooge. We are an Aeolian company, and that's final. Well, with his last breath, dear reader, Marley delivers an ominous message. Feed the cat, then collapses. Scrooge can't make heads or tails out of these words, but he's sure the answer will come to him during one of his nightly coked-up benders. Scrooge can't resist doing his marionette shtick, a staple of whenever he finds a dead body. The gossiping Frizzle and Snurd bolt in, hoping to catch a glimpse of the last of the life draining from Jacob's eyes. They both live for this kind of trashy theater, and in their minds, if you didn't see it live, well then, it might as well not even have happened. Snurd tends the body in accordance with his years of dubious training on the subject. MJ resumes her holier-than-thou beratement, shouting over Scrooge's pleading. "Oh, check me out," she says. "I'm Mr. London Big Shot Financial Wizard, and I don't need anyone or anything except for my best friend to die so I can take his house and shit before he's even in the ground." "I'm begging you, spirit," says Scrooge. "Oh, woe is me," continues MJ. "If only I had a family member who would invite me to dinner and parties, or a caring and devoted employee who would gladly accept an outreach of friendship."